they're frustrated.
Yeah.
A lot of them. They are. Some of them are being I would say, patient, reasonably patient around these. But there is pressure for liquidity events.
Yeah.
And I think that, again, my fund is very young, so we're not, we have no potential IPO candidates right now, but, hopefully we will someday.
Yeah.
But but it's something that I'm mindful of is, what does that path look like? And, I think one of the concerns is you see what happened with Snap, right? Which is, I think, underwater right now.
It might be, but it's still worth 15, 16 billion.
Sure.
But when is the lockup? That's the question.
The
when the lockup comes up, it's got to be soon, right?
I think it's very soon. Well,
that would be the time to either buy or to get the heck out of the way. Because if you're holding Snap shares right now and you see flat or declining revenue, I think it's been flat, the revenue, or maybe it's slightly declined, and flat growth of users and Instagram just crushing them, like, who wants to own that stock? That's a dangerous thing to own.
I mean,
what do you think happens at the lockup?
So from what I understand, I think Evan Spiegel and the other co-founder, whose name I can't recall right now, have promised they will not
sell.
Yeah,
that happened also with Twitter, where everybody promised not to sell, but Evan Williams was selling.
Yeah,
and he wouldn't promise. He's like, I'm going to sell.
Yeah.
So
I think that you need a signal from senior management that they're.
The lockup should have been 6 or 9 months. So maybe Austin or Jackie can look up when they went public, and you'll know the lockup date.
But I think the other one that I'm keeping an eye on in terms of the lockup is Blue Apron, because they've not performed very well since their IPO.
Yeah.
And
so now we're disincentivizing people to go public.
Well, and I think also there are a lot of businesses which have raised a lot of capital around this direct to consumer model. And I know Blue Apron is slightly different because it's sort of the meal delivery kits, but fundamentally, if there's businesses that are based on spending a lot of money to acquire customers and
competing with Amazon
and then getting the lifetime value of those customers right. I think Stitch Fix is in that category. I think Casper is in that category. There's a ton of businesses in that category. Warby Parker. And it's not hard to imagine Casper going public, right? It's not hard to imagine Warby Parker going public. And so I think that there is some investor fear around these businesses, is that they get to a certain point and then the unit economics get inverted because the customer acquisition costs start to grow and the lifetime value starts to go down because of customer churn.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden the model is broken.
And I think that,
and the model, in fairness, probably never worked. It was just people were hopeful.
Yeah, and it's why we have, there's how many mattress companies, startups right now? There's like 8
ridiculous.
or 9, right? And they're all spending money on podcasts, right? Advertising on podcasts, and it's because they're trying to acquire customers and making bets that once they acquire a customer, that they can continue to sell mattresses to them.
All right, let's jump over to. Unless you have some thoughts on that, Ian. I don't know.
I think Snap's toast, to be quite frank, but that's just my personal view.
Yeah. It seems like young people are still using it.
They are, but then they're moving to different platforms. There's a lot more, and certainly on the security side of things, there are a lot more young people moving to more secure platforms.
Oh.
And
like what? Signal, Telegram?
Signal is seeing huge growth at the moment. Telegram less so, but it's just their model is Instagram can do pretty much the same thing and can carry on trumping them for new features. I think they're toast.
I will say that I think that
800 million users on Instagram. If they had been a public company today, they would be worth $150 per user. I mean, it would be $150 billion company. 100 easily.
Yeah, they sold too early.
They sold for $1 billion. I was saying this on Twitter. I did a tweet storm about this, or just one long. Now I don't have to do a tweet storm because it was 208 characters. I got it all into one tweet. And then somebody's like, "This is terrible advice." I was like, "Okay, do you understand what the term secondary is? If they had sold in secondary, they could have sold, $250 million of the $1 billion in shares they sold." Yeah. The complete company for, and kept half their shares and pursued a bigger vision. This is an important message to founders out there. Because of the secondary market, you should hold on. If Zuckerberg wants to sell your company, do not sell it to him. He's smart. He's trying to take you out because he's threatened by you. Do not sell to him. What you want to do is, instead of selling to Zuckerberg, go find some big banks, Goldman Sachs, whoever, and get them to give you $250 million, or VCs. SoftBank, sell secondary shares, and then hold on and pursue the independent. YouTube sold for 1.6.
Yeah.
YouTube has 1 billion users a day, I believe now. A day. YouTube as a private company, Peter, would be worth 200, 300 billion?
Yeah. I do think, though, in the case of YouTube, the legal liability issues were...
Of course, but and also at that time, nobody wanted to do secondary. Yeah. Secondary was considered...
It's a different landscape right now.
It's a different landscape. So for the love of God, if your company's worth $1 billion and people are willing to pay you $2 billion, understand that they're paying $2 billion because they think it'd be worth 20 or 200, and do not sell.
So you think Musical.ly made a mistake?
Well, in that case, I don't know enough about that company, but the advice would still... They sold for $1 billion?
I think it was 800 million, potentially up to $1 billion.
And had 30 or 40 million users?
I think a little more than that, yeah.
So they were doing very... I mean, if they could have... let's say they were going to get $1 billion. If they could sell half the shares for 500 million to two different investors for 250 million each, and they each could sell half their positions and stay in the game, why not? Stay in the game is my message to entrepreneurs. The reason... Big companies don't buy dogs. They don't. They buy winners.
Yeah.
They're smart. Their M&A teams are not going to catch a falling knife. They're only going to buy something if they feel like they got a deal.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was disappointed that TBH.
Yeah.
That was a relatively small deal.
Yes. Let me tell you about an amazing product I've been using. It's called Tracker. Trackr. Life should be about the journey of discovery. Big, meaningful stuff. Your startup, your mission, your team, not trying to find your keys or your phone or your wallet or your backpack. It's time for Tracker. You'll never need to worry about losing anything. 8 years ago, Tracker changed everything when it released its first tracking device, and now they've done it again with the all-new Tracker Pixel. I have the Tracker Pixel, and it is delightful. I set it up in seconds, and when I say seconds, I mean literally 15 seconds. It was set up, and it works amazingly. You use your smartphone and this little 90 decibel alert that will help you find your keys. I put it on every Tesla key because a member of my family, I don't want to say which one, my wife, keeps losing the Tesla keys. These keys cost like $200 and the Mercedes keys cost like $400. I mean, it's ridiculous. These fobs are killing me. And we put a Tracker Pixel on every one. Small investment, big payoff. Every time I lose the keys, I take out my Tracker app, I press the button, and lo and behold, in somebody's jacket, somebody's purse, somebody's backpack, or even the kids sometimes take them and leave them under the couch, we find those fobs, and we don't have any more drama. If you lose your phone, guess what? Press the button on your Tracker Pixel, and it will reverse ping your phone even if it's on silent. You can locate your items even if they're miles away because Tracker R uses the largest crowd network in the world. That's right. All the people using Tracker will help you find your lost stuff out in the real world, not just within Bluetooth distance. Okay. Tracker's 30-day money-back guarantee means you have nothing left to lose. It makes a great gift during this holiday season. You can save 20% off your order when you go to thetracker.com/twist. Leave out the E in Tracker. Thetracker.com/twist. That's TheTrackr.com/twist. Go ahead and go to thetracker.com/twist, no E in Tracker, and you will get 20% off. Thetracker.com/twist, thetracker.com/twist. Amazing. And remember, it's not a good idea to get into a blowout fight over where these keys are. These keys can ruin relationships. These lost keys and lost phones. It's too much drama when you're trying to get to the movies and you can't find your keys, or you got to pick up the kids and nobody can find the keys. Now we just know where the keys are thanks to the Tracker Pixel. Okay, let's get back to this amazing episode.